The Life and Sad Ending of Sharon Tate. Sharon Marie Tate Polanski was born January 24th, 1943, in Dallas, Texas, the eldest of three daughters to Colonel Paul James Tate, a United States Army officer, and his wife, Doris Gwendolyn. The family is of English and French-Swiss descent. At 6 months of age, Tate won the Miss Tiny Tot of Dallas pageant, but her parents had no show business ambitions for their daughter. Paul Tate was promoted and transferred several times. By the age of 16, Tate had lived in 6 cities and reportedly found it difficult to maintain friendships. Her family described her as shy and lacking in self-confidence. As an adult, Tate commented that people would misinterpret her shyness as aloofness until they knew her better. Tate attended Chief Joseph Junior High School from September 1955 to June 1958, and Columbia High School in Richland, Washington, from September 1958 to October 1959. As she matured, people commented on Tate's beauty. She began entering beauty pageants, winning the title of Miss Richland in Washington in 1959. In 1960, her father received orders to be stationed in Italy. With her family relocating to Verona, Tate learned that she had become a local celebrity owing to the publication of a photograph of her in a swimsuit on the cover of the military newspaper Stars and Stripes. Also in 1960, Tate was employed by the singer Pat Boone and appeared with him in an episode of the television series The Pat Boone Chevy Showroom that was filmed in Venice. The family returned to the United States in 1962, and Tate moved to Los Angeles, where she contacted Richard Boehmer's agent, Harold Gefsky. After their first meeting, Gefsky agreed to represent her and secured work for her in television and magazine advertisements. In 1963, he introduced her to Martin Ransohoff, director of Filmways Incorporated, who signed her to a 7-year contract. She was considered for the role of Billy Joe Bradley on CBS's sitcom Petticoat Junction, but Ransohoff believed that she lacked confidence, and the role was given to Janine Riley. During this time, Tate met with the French actor Philippe Fourquet and began a relationship with him in 1963. They became engaged, but their relationship was volatile, and they frequently quarreled. Career pressures drove them apart, and they broke up the next year in 1964. In 1964, she met Jay Sebring, a former sailor who had established himself as the leading hairstylist in Hollywood. Tate later said that Sebring's nature was especially gentle, but when he proposed marriage, she declined. She said she would retire from acting as soon as she married, and at that time she intended to focus on her career. In 1964, Tate made a screen test for Sam Peckinpah opposite Steve McQueen for the film The Cincinnati Kid. Ransohoff and Peckinpah agreed that Tate's timidity and lack of experience would cause her to flounder in such a large part, and she was rejected in favor of Tuesday Weld. In late 1965, Ransohoff finally gave her the first major movie role in Eye of the Devil, starring David Niven and Deborah Kerr. After filming the movie in France, she met the movie director Roman Polanski in London, auditioning successfully for his horror spoof, The Fearless Vampire Killers, in 1967. The couple began a romantic relationship and were married in July 1968. Sharon Tate's breakthrough performance came in the hit 1967 film Valley of the Dolls, based on the best-selling novel by Jacqueline Susan and co-starring Patty Duke and Susan Hayward. Also in 1967, she appeared in Don't Make Waves with Tony Curtis, and in 1968 had a starring role in the comedy The Wrecking Crew with Dean Martin. With the success of Valley of the Dolls and Polanski's creepy thriller Rosemary's Baby, 1968, Tate and Polanski became one of the most visible couples in Hollywood. Around this time, Tate was feted as a promising newcomer. She was nominated for a Golden Globe Award as New Star of the Year actress for her performance in Valley of the Dolls. After completing filming on 12+1, released in 1970 in Italy in 1969, Tate returned to Los Angeles, where she and her husband were renting a house on Celio Drive in Benedict Canyon. Polanski remained at the couple's home in England, working on his latest film. Sadly, on August 9, 1969, the 26-year-old Tate, then 8.5 months pregnant, was brutally murdered in her home, along with 3 house guests: Wojciech Frykowski, Abigail Folger, Jay Sebring, and a friend of the house's caretaker, Stephen Parent, by a group of people who were later revealed to be part of the Manson family, a murderous cult driven by the apocalyptic fantasies of its deranged leader, Charles Manson. On Wednesday, August 13th, Tate was interred in the Holy Cross Cemetery, Culver City, California, with her son, Paul Richard Polanski, in her arms, named posthumously for his grandfathers.